Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Wizards Outlook. It's pretty much a playoff edition. Feel like it's self-explanatory. Joined by Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley Jr., Wilson Tarbay Jr. again, like you guys see on the bottom of the screen. Sixers took game one with the 125-118 win over the Washington Wizards. Cardell, I know you jumped in on a post game, so let's start there. Tell us about the post game, and then Ray will ask you getting your initial thoughts on how the game went.
Embiid, Scott Brooks. Scott Brooks said Embiid made every shot down the stretch, and made every shot that was needed. That's why they pulled away, and the Wizards couldn't close that gap, even though they were close for much of the second half. But they couldn't quite get over that hurdle because of him. He said that's what big time players do. That's what you expect. From a Jokic, bad limp for the top big man in the league, and he showed why he is that. Why he's up there in the MVP consideration. Tobias Harris, Scott Brooks said he's right. He's right there with being an all-star. First half he made every shot. We weren't giving him shots. He just made some tough shots. They have basically three all-stars on their team that you have to be accountable for at all times, and that's what makes it tough. That's why they're the top seed. He said we made some costly mistakes. The Sixers are a veteran-loaded team. They don't wait for the next time we make a mistake. They capitalize on the mistakes immediately. A lot of guys are playing their first playoff game, and it showed. But regardless, he said everybody competed, and they just got to look at the film and get back and look to be better in game two. He said free throw shooting was a big deal. He said give them credit, they played better than us, but the difference in the free throw shooting, was costly. He said we got guard without putting those guys on the free throw line. And he said we competed, just came up short in the first game. We were solid, but not good enough. They came out in the second half and they got hot. Once again, he reiterated we got to keep them off the line. He said that's the big key going into game two. You on mute, dog.
Got to start out the day the right way, of course. Hey, Ray, as we said, your initial thoughts, how everything went.
Got to fill that quota, man.
I got to. Went too long without it. Got to check the box.
But, yeah, at the end of the first half, it was 62-61. They had Embiid, in foul trouble. I started to get concerned because, that's an ideal situation for you, get Embiid in early foul trouble, get him off the floor. And you got to take advantage of that. But they let Tobias Harris, kind of fill that void. Like he had a monster first half. He had 28. And, he's definitely a good player. As if he wasn't, he wouldn't be able to have that type of performance. But if you can clear that first hurdle, I'm sure the intention was to be aggressive and get Embiid in early foul trouble. Then you can't let him off the hook and let somebody else fill the gap. Cardell said they had three all-star level players. You rated yourself for one of them, so you got to take advantage of that. And then with their 3-point shooting. They were off the mark in the first half, but the law of averages, they're a good 3-point shooting team, and eventually they started falling in the third quarter. So yeah, man, and then the free throw shooting as well. They sent them to the line 33 times. That's too much. And then the Wizards weren't getting to the line as frequently themselves. So and then Embiid down the stretch, those are pretty much the things that decide the game. The Wizards competed, man. They gave him a dogfight, but Philly was just too much for him heading down the stretch. I did like Bradley Beal just showed why he is who he is. They showed him a lot of attention on defense, and he was still able to have the scoring output that he had, which is hugely important for their chances. He's got to be Bradley Beal every game. Like this is no other option for them because the Wizards really don't have another guy to make up that scoring deficiency if Beal is off. Gafford came off the bench with his usual energy, but again, when people are talking about wanting to start him, he got in and got 2 quick fouls. If he starts the game and gets those 2 quick fouls, then you don't even have him, for later on. And who knows if Embiid still gets in the trouble he's in with Gafford not there. But yeah, man, once Embiid got back in the game, was on the floor for a long stretch, he showed why he's in the MVP conversation. But yeah, man, good thing about it is it's fixable things. Will the Wizards be able to make those adjustments? I don't know, but you know, it is good to just see them going in and give the top seed a run for their money. And you know, we'll see what happens in the rest of the series.
All right, Cardell. Before you start, just want to share someone's comment. Infamous Pat Boone over on IG. He was just like, I like my chances if Tobias Harris got score 40 points in the game. Just need to make some adjustments, as Ray was alluding to. But all right, Cardell, your initial thoughts on today's game?
Well, one, they ran into a rusty Philly team that haven't played since last Sunday. So, you know, they were step slow. That's why you saw them kind of out of sync, but you saw how quickly they put it together at halftime and pulled away. You know, I feel like Tobias Harris, you know, held it down the first half. I understand my man comment disrespecting him. You know, I mean, on the season. I mean, he's a 26 and 3 dude. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, he had 30 in the first half. You know what I mean? So he didn't even score that much in the second half. He only scored 7, and they still won. And they still won by 7 with them missing 10 free throws. You know what I mean? So you got to consider that on the other hand, with the Sixers, they're not all the way. They weren't all the way in sync now. That's why I felt like this is one of those games where you kind of kicking yourself that you wish you would have got. You know what I mean? Because now it's gonna be even tougher. You know now they're in sync and they're alert now. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be real. Tobias Harris, you know, shout out Jim Couch fam. You know one of the sons that, you know, saying family, he does his thing, man. That's why I'm like, I don't understand why it's disrespect, like it's that sweet with him. But anyway, you know, he held it down the first half when Embiid got in foul trouble. I think the Wizards did a good job of attacking him. They ain't just settle for jumpers, don't shy away from him. They made him move his feet. They took it to him, and he picked up fouls, and he had to go to the bench. But Tobias Harris was on one. I mean, he was cooking everything in sight. You know, those are he had 37, but those weren't like some shots he wouldn't normally make. Those are his shots, the mid-range, deadly in the mid-range, and that feeds his three-point shooting game. When he's locked in and you giving him that type of shots, he's fully capable of putting 40 on the board. You know what I mean? It's just that he normally, you know, especially with Embiid out, Doc ain't complicate things. He had to go and get him the ball. It was simple as that. I thought Seth Curry, Danny Green, and George Hill, they hit key shots to keep Washington honest throughout the game, and it made it hard for them to double Embiid. Once Embiid came back in the second half, you saw mostly it was delayed traps that were coming or whatnot, or the centers were just on the island. Whoever was on Embiid, they were on the island. You had to do the best you can, man, because they couldn't leave nobody else. They were hitting shots, and that's what makes Philly so tough. That's why they're the top seed. Oh, man. I know they're going to get tired of hearing us say this. Turnovers. Come on, man. Washington had 15. Russ and Bill had 12 between them, 6 each. That's tough to overcome, man. You know, that's just tough, man. It's a common theme in the playoffs throughout the entire league right now. When you turn the ball over, you ain't going to win. You know, it's a team out in the Bay right now that's sitting at home watching the playoffs because they turned the ball over in 2 playing games that they fully could have won. They were right there to win, but they turned the ball over, and it hurts, man. It hurts. And I know Scott Brooks was saying post game, the way Philly defends, they're physical, they bump you, they get up in you. Yeah, you know, that's why when you have a reputation of being a good defender or a good defensive team, you get away with a little bit more. So like Scott Brooks said, Russ and Bill gonna have to fight through that and control the ball and not turn it over, because with them being who they are for the Wizards, they're gonna have the ball in their hands most of the time. And if they're turning it over at a high rate, it's gonna be tough for them to hang with Philly. You know what I mean? Like Raymond said, Bill was locked in. The Wizards did a good job of attacking me, like I said, to get him in foul shot. I like how Bill mixed it up. He didn't just settle. He was operating from the mid-range, transition, taking it in, hitting threes, he got in there and rebounded the ball well. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the guards would kind of turn their back, leaving, and he went in there and helped out. Because, you know, they focusing on Russ and the bigs to keep them off the board. It seemed like that was strategy to get Bill going there and get some key rebounds. And he also was passing the ball. He had 6 assists, man. He was finding guys. He put together all around great efforts. Just the turnovers, you know, hurt. You know, they hurt big time. You know, if he put that, you gotta keep it between 2 and 3, especially now with Philly. Like Scott Brooks said, when you turn it over, they already making you pay for it. It's not even a question if it's already done. So that's what it is. I think Bertans was on his game from deep for most of all, you know, he redeemed himself in the sense where he hit big time shots, and that helped them get a lead and stay close and spread the floor so Bill can operate. You know what I mean? Gafford did what he does against he did what he does. And keep in mind, this is one of the elite bigs in the game and one of the elite reserve bigs in the game. Like, yeah, you got, that's what I'm saying. They like, Embiid goes out, you got to deal with Dwight Howard. You know what I mean? That's still not an easy win when you're trying to get to the cup and trying to make something happen. So I felt like he had a very solid game for his first playoff game. Second year in the league, you can't ask for anything more. You know what I'm saying? He did what you expect him to do. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. No, it is what it is. I thought Rui and Alex Len were efficient, but felt they should have been more aggressive. You know, they were you could tell they were kind of gun shy with the playoff atmosphere to begin. Obviously, Alex Len, when he shot the air ball free throw, you could just tell it was nerves. But once you know, he got that out of the system, he started playing better. The thing is, they got to play like that from the start and put together 48 minutes or however long they're going to play. Otherwise, it's going to be tough for the Wizards, man. Like they gotta make an impact. They have no choice because you got to deal with that monster down low. The front court, you know, that's Philly's advantage. You know what I'm saying? The backcourt, that's the Wizards' advantage, and the front court is Philly. So, you know, Wizards front court going to step it up and bang with them and battle with Embiid and try to. You're not going to match them, but try to close that gap as much as possible. It can't be, you know, Embiid getting 30 and 10, 12 or something like that, and you know, the centers, the core, the center, the 3 centers, 12 points and 6 rebounds. That's not going to help. You know what I mean? Y'all, they got to try to match that, you know, as a group. You know what I'm saying? As much as possible. Philly's free throw shooting, that's something to look at. You know, something to watch, especially with Ben Simmons going 0 for 6. Hacking Ben may be something to go to later on if it's another close game, man. You know what I'm saying? He's shaky at the line right now. So at this stage, it's just about getting the W. So that's just something, you know, to look at. And I'm sure Philly going to look at as well. And the difference in the game to me just came down to stops. You know, Philly got a couple more than Washington did down the stretch. And obviously, when Embiid scoring at a high rate to close the game, you're not going to win. You know, you're not going to win if you can't get stops, especially on him. And they're getting stops on you. So that's the name of the game. Put the ball in the hole and stop the other team from putting the ball in the hole. And Philly just did a better job of that tonight.
Yeah, I don't have too much more to add. I think one of the interesting things was obviously, you know, you're going to send a double at Embiid. And one of the things we talked about all year was just kind of like the lack of discipline of Washington defensively. And this is one of those moments where it adds up. A disciplined team can send a double and not give up and give up like one thing and be able to get back. Mm-hmm. Washington sends a double. They're not disciplined enough. Like Embiid was getting doubled. And not only did he option one shooter open, there were like 2 or 3. And, you know, then that's where we saw Seth get open. Sending a double, and he's comfortably finding open shooters. Like Cardell said with Tobias, like, yeah, 26. My thing is the 40 was easy. You know, it was really, really easy. Getting to the cup, he was unbothered, shooting over people. You didn't really, and like to me that's the tough part about it is Washington let a big opportunity go because like this was the rustiest you were gonna get a top seed because they have time off, right? They're on the road, and you know, like even listening to like some of the Brooklyn players after last night, they're already amped up and everything else, playing at home. You've been off for a little bit. There's a window there to kind of get what you need to get. And you lost that opportunity from that, like from here on, they're fine. They're dialed down. 1 game's out the way. And yeah, you only had 15 turnovers. But again, just like Dre and Steph a couple nights ago, when they had pretty much all 12 of the Warriors turnovers in the third quarter when they lost to LA, then they did it again in Memphis where they went and turned the ball over crazy. For everything that Russ and Beal did that was good tonight, they had 12 of the 15 turnovers for the team. And this ain't the regular season. I know y'all kept trying to tell us it's not a big deal, this other crap, man. It's the playoffs. It's a whole different sport now. Them turnovers that kill you. Like, this ain't the regular season. It's like, oh, it's okay. I turned the ball over. We'll get it back. No, you won't. It's gone. No, it's gone. Because they got somebody, like, down the stretch. He was Embiid scoring over double teams, and it was comfortably scoring over double teams. Like, again, they have something you don't really have a full answer for. Yeah, you can hope he misses, but that's hoping he misses. That's not you bothering him. He was comfortably getting the shots he wanted in a double. And again, with the free throw shooting, more opportunity to steal this game. You can't give away possessions, man. You just can't afford to. And it's just one of those things again. Corny is cliche, whatnot. It matters about winning. You have to get stops. And this is one of the first things we saw yesterday, which was so happy to see. The first day of the NBA playoffs. Every team that won yesterday, they dug in on that end of the floor. It's gonna matter, man. It really does truly matter. And like again, Washington ended up winning the rebounding battle. But like you did a lot. You outscored them in the paint, 76-58. You checked a lot of boxes. And this is why the turnovers hurt that much more. How do you know every game you can out-rebound them? You know what I'm saying? Like these opportunities just missed. So obviously get a couple days, then they play again on Wednesday. But this is some of the things we try to say all through the year was, yes, give them credit for the run they made to, make something of their season or whatnot. But those flaws, they hurt. They hurt, and they have a very small margin of error versus a different team. So we'll see what happens.
And also, I want to give a shout out to Ben Simmons. I don't know why this talk is that he can't play point guard. He dominated the game and only had 6 points. He had 15 rebounds and 15 assists. And Philly weren't even on like that. And the 2 players were on. Other guys made timely shots just to keep them honest. But they weren't on like they can be. They were fairly rusty overall. See what I'm saying? That's his impact, his all-around impact. I don't understand I do understand why a lot of people don't value that, because most people aren't able to have an all-around impact. They're either 1 or 2 dimensional. There's very few players that can affect the game in multiple ways, especially without scoring. You know what I mean? That's why he's held. You know what I'm saying? And then think about it. He's 6'10", and he's able to guard. He's switching between Russ and Bill and giving them fits, stripping the ball. They think they got him beaten. He coming from behind, roughing the ball from behind. They looking like, yo, what the hell? They not used to that. You see what I'm saying? It's something new. You know what I mean? So they had to wake up and understand. And despite Russ' numbers, he had a fairly quiet night. Like, think about it. If you ain't looking at his numbers, you don't really remember hearing much from Russ this game. You can't recall much. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, the loudest play from Russ, to be honest, is the one where he had the Sean Elliott play with his heels on the jaw. Mm-hmm. That's bad. You know what I mean? Like that's not good at all. And think about it. The Wizards shot 55% from the field, 40% from 3, and 80% from the line. And the Sixers were rushing, and they still lost. The Sixers shot 49% from the field. They shot 31% from 3 and 69% from the line. And you still lost by 7. That's what I mean. Like, you got to get this game because now antennas up. You know what I'm saying? So the adjustment's going to come, and it ain't going to be sweet. Like, Embiid not going to pick up dumb fouls in the first half like that no more. You know what I'm saying? Now you have to deal with it for a full game. He had 30 in 30 minutes. So what if Doc played that boy about 40, 45 minutes? It's ugly. You know what I'm saying? So the Wizards did some good things, but like I said, that defensive end, everybody gonna have to dig in and become one, man. That's the only way, man, because you're gonna have to hold this team down. We've been saying Washington scored enough points. Their pace, they're number 1 in the pace, so they're gonna get up and down, get possessions, and get shots up. I'm not worried about that end as much as long as they taking care of the ball. Defensive end, they gotta do something because Tobias. You gotta take away what he does best, and his mid-range game is lethal. So you allow him to get in rhythm, which caused you to totally have to adjust to deal with him. And the monster's coming back sooner or later. So it is what it is, man. Like, but that's why Philly's number 1, man. They're hard to guard, and that's what I've been trying to tell people who certain people giving us comments saying that I think the Wizards got a chance to beat them and all that stuff like that. I'm like, homie, what are y'all watching? Like, it's not a one-man team. You know what I'm saying? So they'll see you soon, man. When the mother boys wake up, it can get ugly real quick.
All right, before we move on, I just want to share this, before we move past the Ben Simmons thing today, right? Again, talk about overall impact. 38 minutes, 6 points, 15 boards, 15 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers.
Winning basketball.
Like you trying to tell me that doesn't matter? And for y'all that love numbers, that's a plus 18. And he played 38 of the 48 minutes. Since for those of you who love,
and he's the point guard. People like to dictate what position you are. He's a point guard. He got in the same field that LeBron has. He's not as good of a scorer, obviously, because he can't shoot as well. But same thing. But when you can dominate like this, you got the shooters around you, you got that monster in the middle. I'm not tripping off your shooting. I'm just not. You know, get them the ball, move around, set good screens, and make an impact that way. And that's what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really that simple. Before we get to y'all's comments, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, feel free to chime in. We'll do our best to respond to each and everybody. But before we get to the answering portion of our program, quick word from Ooze and Oz. Before we get out of here, quick word from our partners over at Ooze and Oz. What we got going on this week? Try our turkey wings, tender, home-style wings, baked perfection, dinner with 2 sides, $14.95. Meat only is $10.95. And reminder, they're open for late nights, Fridays and Saturdays, order favorites until 12 a.m. at Georgia Avenue, 1 a.m. at U Street. Again, it's oozeandoz.com. All right. So these comments, we got Ray. Where we at, man? What you doing? Nothing changed. It's just the postseason. Nothing's changed.
We deferring today.
All right, Cardell. Ray has chosen to let you get the first comment, response to the first comment. All right, from LD's Brick Workshop. Simmons has always been and will always be the key. The 76ers reached the finals. It's relative ease thanks to Ben's aggressiveness on both ends, but that's a big if. Cardell.
I don't know if they can get to it with ease because there's some heavyweights they want to go through as they advance. But yeah, the potential is there. You know what I mean, we just in a time where people just in love with shooting. You know what I mean? And I get it. You got to put the ball in the hole, but there's other ways you can put the ball in the hole when you got the pieces around you that the Philadelphia 76ers does. And that's why they went and hired Doc, you know, to be creative and find ways where his weakness is not so glaring. You know, one thing I like about him, they have him moving in a high post, a low post, and have him going backdoor for lob, so he's always a threat. You still have to guard him. That's the thing. Just, you know, you can't just be 4-on-5 because he won't shoot. He's just standing outside, you know, 3-point range, which is what you see with some teams. You know, we just spoke about the Warriors. When Draymond gets the ball up, I mean, he may set certain screens, but when he don't have the ball in his hands, he's a liability because everybody knows he's not really trying to shoot like that. You know what I mean? So that's the knock on Ben Simmons. But the way Doc has him moving around, keeping him in the paint and stuff, you have to be alert. You have to keep an eye on him. So yeah, he is the key. He's definitely the key. But I think if he keep playing like how he played today, winning basketball, he got to hit those free throws though. That's for sure. You can't be a liability because they're gonna start hacking you just to keep you out the game. You know what I mean? But if he plays up to the level we know he has in him, then yeah, they're gonna be a tough out for sure.
Ray, did you have anything you want to add to that one? Moving on.
Nah, just that it, like Cardell said, it ain't never easy to get to the finals. But we can just get that out of our head right now.
Never lied. All right, this is for you, Ray, from Eric Reeves. I love how aggressive the Wizards played the Pacers. This is how you put away a team. Wanted to see the Nets, not the 76ers. I don't know what folks are watching by them saying that they don't want the Nets. It's clearly showing their basketball IQ, LOL. I'd rather play the Nets instead of the Sixers. We have the 76ers now, so we will see how this series goes.
Yeah, I don't know if they got something against Indiana or not, but they really been at their neck every time they played them this year. But I don't know why you would want to see either one of those teams. Like they don't have an advantage either way over one or the other. Like they're the top 2 seeds. I mean, it's no night off against either one of those teams. Is going to be a hard series and could end up being an embarrassing series, you know, if things go a certain way. So like I don't know why that's the argument. Do we want to play the Nets or the Sixers? Like, so yeah, man. But you know, people asked for Philly and now they got him. So I just hope this thing doesn't get ugly. You know, again, they did kind of miss the opportunity tonight. A couple different things go a couple different ways, and we probably got a different result. But yeah, it's only going to get harder from here. So everybody that wanted to play the Sixers, you know, you got what you wanted. And I don't. Should this series go the way it's likely to go, I don't want to hear any complaints because this is what you asked for.
Cardell, did you want to chime in or moving on to the next one?
You just got a taste of it. Like I said, if you had to choose one, you would want to deal with the Nets because you got a puncher's chance. You know they're gonna have lows defensively, and you are a high-powered scoring machine as far as the Wizards go. So they up there in points per game and their pace. So that caters more to what you're good at. You know what I mean? The problem is offense against offense. The problem with Philly is they're gonna play defense to slow down that offense at times, but they still gonna score because your defense is not up to par. It's really just common sense, but you know how it is, man. People won't pay attention to which team has the higher profile names, and obviously you got three big time players on the Nets. You know they got more fame than what the Philly has outside Embiid. So that's all that's about to me. It's just a name.
All right, Cardell, this one's for you from Toothpick. Glad the Wizards came through. I was a little nervous before the game. It's hard to win against the same team 4 times in a row. I agree the Nets were the better matchup, but on the bright side, at least the Wizards don't have to worry about dealing with both the Nets and Milwaukee in the other bracket.
The Wizards did come through. Like I said, that was the surge that they had late in the season was big time. Getting back to the playoffs. For a young core, this is big for them. They getting to understand there's a difference between the regular season and the playoffs. It is hard to win against the same team 4 times in a row, but they had the Pacers number, man. They did. It was that backcourt they couldn't do. The Pacers couldn't do nothing with it, especially with LeVert out. It was just they couldn't stay healthy. That's what hurt the Pacers, honestly. Maybe with Brogdon and LeVert might be different. We don't know, but it was always one of those guys out when they played, and obviously when you got to deal with Russell Beal, you need dogs on the other end, otherwise it's gonna get ugly quick. So that's what happened. I agree the Nets were the better matchup, but on the bright side, at least the Wizards don't have to worry about dealing with the Nets and Milwaukee in the other bracket. Fine. I mean, that's I guess you could say that. So what would be better with the Knicks or also? I mean, you won't have to if it by a miracle you get out this round, you want to deal with somebody. You want to deal with somebody formidable regardless. That's how it goes in the playoffs as you advance. It's going to be somebody real. So, yeah, that's why championships are so hard to win, man. So, it shouldn't even matter, honestly, who they have to play. It just be whoever's on the slate, whoever's on the schedule. We're going to get up and do the best we can.
Right. Chime in, or you good?
Yeah, man, you can't try to finagle a quote unquote easy route through the playoffs because it don't exist. Like I said, every team at that point is going to be hard to beat. So yeah, especially if you want the bottom half, like if you're an 8 seed, you can't be talking about what path you want to take. Like it's difficult regardless. So.
All right, on to you, Ray. From SoBin. Hey, shout out to SoBin. You one of a couple of y'all have been consistent all year long, so appreciate y'all for that. I don't get people wanting to play the 76ers instead of the Nets. Nets key superstars have played a total of 7 games together. I'd much rather hit a Nets team trying to work out how to play together early in the playoffs and miracle and upset rather than later when they have a rhythm going. Not that we're going to have a chance to meet Nets later in the playoffs, LOL. Just being real, I'll be happy with a gentleman's sweep to give the young boys playoff experience this year.
Yeah, man. Like we've been saying, like I don't get the excitement of getting Philly. Like that's just weird to me. But yeah, man. In regards to the Nets, I mean, yeah, they haven't shared much time on the court together, but those guys' IQ is high enough, and their skill sets mesh well enough for them to be able to figure it out on the fly. I wouldn't want to play them either, but yeah, if you had to flip a coin, I'd take the Nets. For the like Cardell mentions a lot, there is just going to be a shootout, and that's much more favorable to you than having to deal with Embiid in Simmons and that Philly defense. But but yeah, man, it's good to get some realism here. Like, more than likely, we won't have to worry about playing the Nets because the likelihood of getting out this round is extremely low. But yeah, it is good for them just to get some experience. It's a young team. People weren't expecting them to be here. At one point, I think on ESPN they showed, when they had that lull after All-Star break, it was like a 0.6 chance of them making the playoffs. So, it's just good to see them, figure it out and kind of fight through it down the stretch and, just get some postseason action.
All right. Cardell, you want to chime in or we moving to the next one?
Everything Raymond said, plus you get to look forward to the future regardless of what happens because you can be healthy with Denny and Thomas Bryant coming back. So it's going to be a different mindset going into next year with everybody getting a taste of the playoffs. And that's what you want as an organization. You want to keep progressing, not staying stagnant, and definitely not going backwards. So, yeah, this playoff run was key. Don't get it twisted. Like, what the Wizards did, it should be applauded, especially considering all the turmoil and adversity that they went through. But at the end of the day, you got to be realistic about who they going up against, man. Like I said, they ain't even got the full dose of Embiid. Like, I saw the Wizards getting testy, and then these boys were rusty. They ain't even really gotten into them yet. You know what I mean? And you remember Bertans getting frustrated with Matisse Bull and all that. And I know Brad and Embiid, they got the same trainer, Hamlet or whatever. So he mocking Embiid, talking trash. I'm like, that just fires Embiid up. That's his whole game. He want to bust your ass and talk shit and all that. But like, he even had Lopez with the little, finger waving thing. I'm like, dog, that's not even y'all game, dog. That's not. We watch all year. Y'all show up and just button and do what y'all do. So that tells me right there is already in the first game starting to get to him. So that's what he does, man. He try to break you through his game and mentally. So, but this is the stuff a lot of people don't look at when like we do, man. It's a skill battle, it's a physical battle, then it's a mental battle. And Embiid wages war on all three aspects. That's why he's so hard to deal with.
Yeah, you're definitely living in his world if you're worried about his antics. You might as well cue up any Bane speech. You enter that arena and he's oh so comfortable there. And the other thing is, it's cool or whatever, but you also don't gotta guard him. Yeah, 30 in 30 minutes. Like, care about your bigs.
Yeah.
Care about your bigs, man. That's all I'm saying. Care about your bigs. Not great at math, but 30 and 30. Care about your bigs.
And how many times did you see Gafford go on the ground? Now, how many times have you seen him on the ground throughout the year?
Look,
and he just playing honest defense.
It's different.
And Scott Brooks harped on that too. Wilson, we've seen him up close and beat a big month. That's a big month. That's a big motherfucker. And he can move with that skill, dog. Like, oh man, he was scoring through three Wizards, dog. Like, they triple teamed him. He was going through them, bro. Like, come on, man.
And that's the crazy part, right? He's a big dude that makes Dwight, another really big dude, look normal sized.
Yeah.
Like, even this slim version of Dwight, that's still 260 plus, bro. That's a big dude, man. Like,
he's dropping Gafford. He's just dropping him because he's doing drop steps and moves and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And the contact is knocking him down. And Gafford ain't a flopping soft big man. He's pretty physically imposing himself with his athleticism and stuff. But Embiid a different animal.
That's every bit of that 270 plus and knows what to do with all of it. And that's the scary part. He knows how to use it. And
that's if he 270.
Hey, look, that's why I said plus. You know what I'm saying?
That thing might be 3.
Man, that joint might be 288, 289. You know what I'm saying? Messing with that.
Might be 3 leaning on you, way on you.
Either way, you can see the damage that it causes. Because, like, what was it when he hit the little jump hook through 3 people? And it felt like it was 3 people at the beginning. Then he went into his move, and there was nothing but space around him. It's a big dude, man.
And he's efficient. He don't, and he made free throws. Like, he up there 90+%. So you can't even foul him. This.
You can't give him a 12 to 15 foot jumper. He likes it. Like, okay. it's a lot to deal with. All right. I think we're back to you, Cardell. J.K. Wilson had to say, I hope we're able to tire and beat out. Our strategy this series should be trying to play fast. He emphasized with the purpose. We need all bigs on deck to time out because Howard is no pushover either. But we have to push the pace and make them play faster than they like because I really think we can shock these guys.
See, that's what we talking about. Shock what? What is your version of shock? I hope you ain't saying win 4 games. Because you're going to need a whole bunch of injuries on Philly side to make that happen. And that's just being honest. I ain't trying to talk trash or nothing. It's just the reality of the situation. Tired and beat out is the reason why he was in it. You know, if he didn't get hurt, he would be the MVP. It's as simple as that. It's a reason for that. Doc had him set up to play the best basketball of his career, which he has done this year. You know what I mean? So you're not going to get to him with the fatigue thing like you did in the past years because Doc demanded too much out of him and he's on a mission. I think they said it going into the game. They said he said the last few years I was young Simba. Now it's time to be Mufasa. And you know I didn't be joking and stuff like that. But he's like, it's time to just dominate the league. And it's clear what it's time. He ready to dominate. And the only way you can dominate is win. So that's his mindset, man. So you tiring him out, that won't work running basket to basket because that's the only way. You don't have the quality of bigs, with all due respect, where you can throw it into him, make him work on when he's on defense to tire him out. That's not either of those bigs game right now. So, your strategy this year should be trying to play fast. That's what Washington has been doing the entire season. They're number one at pace. They're number one pace. They get the most possessions out of anybody in the league, so they always play fast. That's what kept them in this game. You know what I mean? Because running on makes a miss for opponents. If your defense ain't on point, if you're not on point as a team, defensively communicating stuff like that, it will cause all type of mismatches, and that's what the Wizards prey on. You know what I'm saying? That's why they were able to get on a run late in the season once Russ got healthy, and they added Gafford, obviously a lob threat. So, that's the thing. But Philly, they can play fast. They can play in a half court. That's why they're the number one seed. So you really have no advantage over just to keep executing and try to get stops on them. So, I mean, that's the best chance the Wizards have, man. So. Yeah, I mean, Dwight Howard, he can run. That's his specialty, being a great athlete. Even year 16, think about it. Year 16 to 17, he's probably still at the same level athletically as Gafford is. That's saying something. But he got 16, 17 years of experience. You understand? So, and that's your reserve coming off the bench. Man, come on, man. Championship experience. He just won one with the Lakers. So, look, shocked. You think they can shock these guys? Okay, man. Martin Luther King had a dream too, baby.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Ray, you get to know this. So we'll be moving on to the next one.
Man, we gotta stop talking about negating Embiid. Like Embiid had 36 and 2 collectively. The Wizards centers had 30, 11 and 2. Like, I mean, you need 3 people playing decent for their expectations to even match him, and he only played 30 minutes. So, I mean, he just gonna wreak havoc. That's just what it is, man. You gotta do things well in the other areas to to try to negate that. Like, so yeah, we don't have the personnel or the talent to deal with him. It just is what it is. The most you can expect out of them, they get in there, they battle, do their best, they do the best they can. And yeah, let go of the upset dreams. I'm sorry. Like I'm happy they're in the playoffs. I want to see them compete and do well, but if anybody's willing to bet, I'll take the bets because they not getting out this series, man. I'm sorry.
And who does have the personnel to deal with Embiid in the league?
Right.
Outside Jokic going blow for blow with him offensively. That's it. You're not stopping that dude.
And that's the thing. And if you can't stop him, then it definitely depends on whatever else you have in terms of firepower. And everybody don't got enough to deal with it. Because if essentially if you're going to be like he gets his, man, the rest of what you have, it better be way better than the rest of what the Sixers have.
There's only a handful of bigs like that. What do you like? AD, Jokic, Randall, Bam, Giannis. I'm just throwing bigs out there that can at least go back and forth on Embiid on both ends, and you cool with that. Like, think about it. It ain't many bigs, man. It's just not. So, and I'm really trying to really think about Gobert is one end. He could fight with Embiid, but offensively he ain't a threat. You know what I'm saying? So, Embiid, you got to deal with all that. You know what I mean? So, hey, man. Even if we had Thomas Bryant, it would still be hell.
That's just another dude to get fouls, and it's another dude you don't want to get fouls. Like, to be honest, like again, it's just another dude that can't afford to be off the floor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks. And then, like, honestly, all the places TB can score from, so can he. So,
yeah.
And one's 7+, 270+. The other one's 6'9", 6'10", 240. Man, just again, not to be mean, just living in this current timeline. There's a reason he's done what he did to the league this year. There's a reason no one's had an answer. The only answer is if he gets hurt or has a bad game or gets, his normal conditioning, like it hasn't got to the elitist of elitist levels, the elitist of elite levels yet. And still, like, there's not a legitimate answer. You legit gotta hope that your others, like, you can withstand what he does, and your others can outdo the rest of them. And everybody doesn't have the personnel as far as the others to outdo the. Everybody doesn't. It is what it is. They're the 1 seed for a reason. I don't know how many times we got to keep saying this. On to the awesomes. I like Neto as a third option. Just need more touches, but Rui got it for now. Would like him to be more consistent. Don't sleep on Robin Lopez either. He gets us out of a lot of jams. Ray, your last comment this evening.
I don't know why we keep trying to reinvent the wheel, man. Like, just let Neto play how he's been playing. Let Scott Brooks do his job. I mean, yeah, I like Neto as a player. Like, he's been invaluable for them this season. But yeah, it's not my responsibility to determine, who's going to play what role and whatnot. So I'm gonna let those guys that get paid to do it. And I don't think anybody's sleeping on Robin Lopez. I mean, he makes some hook shots. And he's a big body down there, cool. But if our prayers and hopes depend on Robin Lopez, then we in a bad spot. No disrespect to him, but I don't think the game plan is ever going to be Robin Lopez is going to get us out of this jam. That just is what it is.
Do you have anything, Cardell? We moving on to your final comment. Nope. All right. The last one of the day. David Confield, people don't realize how good the Sixers defense is. The combination of Simmons and Embiid, Thybulle is a difficult matchup for anyone to score on. And I'm well aware that Simmons and Thybulle are both exceptional defenders, that they're capable of handling Westbrook and Beal. And if either of them tries to go to the paint, they'll have to deal with Embiid. But I have a very strong feeling, while all along everyone is looking at the 76ers as the team and all the talk that is surrounded around them sweeping the Wizards, I smell an upset in the establishment that the Wizards will knock off Philly. I have a strong feeling, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's the tree in my profile pic giving me those vibes. Ain't that right, Cardell?
That's exactly right. Roll up right now. Like you said, the upset. Yeah, all right. Look, I just hope. Look, I just like the fact that the Wizards competed. You know what I mean? Don't come in here the playoffs and just get slaughtered. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. You know what I mean? We can't have that. Plus, I know the Wizards play better at home anyway. The problem is Philly has home court. So you got to play good on the road. And obviously, just like what we saw a few days ago in Boston, in the playoff atmosphere, the Wizards, they're young, man. They don't respond well. And we need Russ. Russ got to be Russ. He can't, these type of low games, just like in Boston, Wizards ain't winning the game with playing like that. The Wizards need Russ to be Russ, and they need Bill to be Bill just to have a puncher's chance. Mm-hmm. And even then, it still may not be enough because them other dudes wake up. And that's the thing, man. Y'all really don't understand what a lot of y'all just look at offense, man. Philadelphia's defense is on point, man. You know what I mean? Like, they number 1 and 2 in steals and blocks. Like they get their active. Danny Green is a good defender.
And we lost.
Did we lose him?
Yeah, I think for a second, but You guys pretty much, I think, got the gist of what he was saying. We've told you guys this already. Like, it's a tall task, man. And again, just look at it in a vacuum, right? They did a great job. Got back into the groove of things and made it matter to get to the postseason. Just learn experience from here, man. It ain't the end of the world. Go ahead, Cardell. I know we got you back.
No, I'm just saying they got great defenders all around the perimeter, and that's before you. And then if you manage to somehow get by them, you got Embiid and Dwight Howard, Claude Lane waiting for you, man. You see what I'm saying? So, and then this is how cold the Sixers. This is how deep they go. The damn G League MVP Paul Reed is on the team, and he don't even get in the game.
Yeah, the end of the
and he's an animal.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like, they're the number one seed for a reason, man. And they got championship aspiration for a reason. So they got the coach, they got the staff, they got everything they need to make it happen, man. So the Wizards not there yet. And like we saying, we just want them to put up a similar fight like they did today. That's realistic, man. And you can hear in Scott Brooks' tone, I know he's coaching to win, but he a realist too, man. He understands what the monster he's up against, man. So shock the world and pull it upset. The only way that happens is if key players go down, man.
Yeah, and again, I get that was the theme of the comments this day, and I get it. Playoffs hadn't got here. Fans are fans. Gonna be some optimism. We get it. I'm anxious to see what the responses look like now. So you got your first taste of what you were looking ahead to. So I'm looking forward to that. But as always, for Ray, Cardell, myself, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Forward to your comments. Look forward to seeing you guys. Check in with you guys as far as Wizards Outlook come Wednesday night. We got Mystics Outlook coming up in just a little bit. Then obviously the Focus TV on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. As always, don't forget to get over to Ooze and Oz for all your soul food needs. Again, oozeandoz.com. Y'all have a good evening. See y'all very soon.